Yo, yo.
Hello. Hey, Caboose, can you come here? I don't know why my co-star isn't in his usual dog bed. How you doing, man?
All right. I got a hard out today, so let's get this podcast moving.
Well, luckily, my week, I played some Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts fucking pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I like when a week can be summed up with a noise.
I also discovered something. So, the weather's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Right? It's been absolutely gorgeous out here in beautiful British Columbia. And so me and the little man in the morning, like Paige has been streaming. So me and the little man go on little trips, little adventures. Right? We going down to the park, and then like fuck it, we got time. Let's go down to the other park. And then I have a step tracker, right? Because you know I'm a little rounder than I should be, so it helps to keep track. And I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. And I realized I had been doing like 13,000 steps a day.
Oh yeah, okay.
For like, and I was like, oh cool. And then I like ran the math on it. I'm like, oh, that's like 10 kilometers.
10K.
And that's like
10K a day is healthy.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But then I realized my 2-year-old is also walking like 10K.
Holy shit. Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Because Paige yesterday was like, wow, you really tired him out. And I'm like, well, what'd you guys do? And I'm like, we walked over here, walked over here, walked over here. And he was just like, I'm not tired. I'm not tired.
Fighting
right? For hours.
Yeah. No, 10K is considered like oh, you're moving every day. You're getting your calories in proper and you're route.
Yeah, to our hamburger audience, that's like 6 miles, guys. But he's just a little guy.
Oh, in burger metrics.
Yeah, in the burger metrics.
Gotcha. Okay.
Imagine there was a burger. It kills my ass, dude. It kills my ass to have to. I've had to stop my show and be like, imagine a hamburger, and they get it. They get it. Like when you hamburger it up, they're like, oh, I understand now.
Do the little translation. I think that's the first time I've heard you say British Columbia in a long time. I feel like you just say BC, and I'm surprised you didn't spit when you said it.
I was being fancy about it.
Okay.
Because the weather out here is just nice all the time.
In British Columbia.
Yeah. Let's see what else. What happened? So I'm okay.
200 years ago, or as we say, the other day.
So the other day I'm streaming, right, and I'm doing my bullshit, and it's quite late, right, and so I get a phone call from my wife, and she's like, "Get over here now," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'm in trouble. I stayed up too late. You know how it is." And I get back to the house, and she's like, "There's piss everywhere." And I'm like, "No!"
Oh, who done it?
So what happened was she was playing with geriatric cat Elmo, very old, and all of a sudden he just exploded. He looked like he was shocked also.
Okay. That you would prefer that. Let him be taken by surprise.
I know you don't have cats. I don't know if you have any history with cat piss.
Oh, I'm aware.
Cat piss is the worst.
I'm aware. Yep. Yep.
So like there was like a child's play tent that the kid likes. No, that thing's in the trash. That's gone. Got all over my poor wife. I picked the cat up. Now it's all over me, and cleaned everything. This was late at night too. So it's like late night. Kid is asleep, cleaning in frantic silence, like scenario. And then I got to have a very harrowing experience. So you know how cats don't like to take baths?
Yes.
They don't like it.
They don't like getting wet.
They don't like it.
Yep.
And that cats also have sharp claws.
Ah, yes, they do.
Well,
right.
If in this kind of disaster scenario, the only way to fully wash the cat is to get into the shower with him and shower the cat like he's a baby. So I'm in the shower with a very angry old man stapled to my body with old man knives, screaming in my face, and I'm like, wash the piss off you, yeah.
Yeah, and you got to get the hard chemicals out to get the ammonia smell gone.
No, you can't. You can't use hard chemicals on the cat.
No, not on the cat, on the environment that was cat bombed. Like,
you use specific anti-cat chemicals.
Okay, because I'm like, I feel like for the cat ammonia smell, you need industrial cleaner, but then you can't be having the kid around industrial cleaner. So
yeah, no. Well, he was asleep, luckily.
Okay.
Anyway, we got all of it. Cat is pretending like nothing happened. He's using his box as normal. We don't know what the fuck was up with that. The only thing we can think of is that day a cat on the street walked up to us for pets, and we all petted the cat. And as best as I can come up with, when we came home and Elmo was playing with him, he got a good old whiff of stranger cat and went, spray, spray!
Defense mechanisms activate, whatever that means. Okay, I see that.
So no more petting other cats anymore.
Just in case.
It's funny because like cleaning up a bunch of piss and having to take a cat shower, objectively awful experiences. Not good. But once I dried poor Elmo off and was petting him, I was like, man, I love this guy so much. Like, I don't like that you did that, but you're a good guy. I'd gladly do this a lot for you, buddy.
And you're allowed X number of piss bombs per year. There's a threshold.
Would say that. Or we just put him in a little piss suit.
Or giant cat diaper.
Yeah. You can put diaper on a cat.
I believe it.
They don't like it.
No, they don't, but I believe it. That
was pretty much that's what's going on with my week. I walked a couple dozen kilometers and lost a couple pounds, and then there was piss everywhere. And Kingdom Hearts is pretty good.
Cool. Well, I mean, speaking of baby steps, we got some words on the table, bruh.
You got words?
We got some words on the table.
Hell yeah, you got words?
We got some babbles that turned into da.
Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah. And it was like, okay, first of all, lock it down. Let's go. Good shit. Yeah. Surprising in the sense that it's not the... Like we actively didn't use Mama and Dada a whole lot around, and we're now more aware of like, oh yeah, no, using that needs to be a thing. But we got babbles into that, and it was funny because like we're like, okay, that initial kind of moment was like it was an unintentional sound, but that's what came out, and we're like, okay, we're gonna count that. And we're like, yeah, no, we take those, we count that, and. There's that room for ambiguity with it. And then fast forward like 3 days or so later, and Punch Mom's like, hey, yo, check this out. Bye-bye. And she's like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we got a wave, we've got intent, and bye-bye.
You know what that means?
With the wave.
You're watching the
and it's like, that is not just a babble into an accidental word. That is an intentional understanding and contextual hand gesture associated with it, like full on, undeniable. And yeah, it's kind of insane. It's like it's all coming together at like breakneck speeds. Literally from I've just been just messing around and stuff, and like she's been loving sounds, and like I said, sound is a big thing. The sound of clapping, hands, everything to do with that is a big deal. So putting a little steel pan in front of her, and she's messing with it, hitting on it, getting the sounds right, and kind of noticing like, oh, if I pull this over and hit this side, it sounds a little different. I'm like, oh, you like that noise, do you? Okay. Here's some little kid drum and drumsticks, hitting the sticks, noticing the difference between just shaking the object and aiming it at the surface. Sticks get knocked away. Reaches, pulls drum over with hand, and starts hitting with hand. And I'm like, you're getting it. Like,
yeah. So there's the baby part in the tummy, right? And then we all know the fourth trimester, which is the first 3 months of infancy, where they're a potato that eats and poops, right? And then I would call the in-between after that is like automaton state. Like they're alive and they're aware, but like they're just responding to stimuli. You are now seeing thoughts.
Yeah.
Spoke thoughts and acts and intentions.
The potato age is over. Newborn status is officially gone, and like the person is coming together, and it's happening really quickly. It's kind of nuts. And like, yeah, things like that where you're just like, I didn't like, you were just from those moments of observation. You weren't giving any sign that you were piecing this together. And she doesn't mimic us much at all. We do a lot of things to kind of like entice a mimic out of her, but she doesn't do it back. She doesn't repeat to it, you know? So like, that's a really rare thing that just like, oh, you understood so much of that more than we thought you did, you know? The like when we mimic like the spoon and eating and stuff like that, it's like, no, I understand what the spoon is. I understand which end has the food and which one doesn't. I deliberately don't want to eat that end right now. I want to chew on this ball, you know?
The ball is much more interesting.
And then there's the like, I can put you the spoon down back onto the feeding tray, but it's way more fun if I drop it over the edge. So what you're going to watch me do is every time I take the spoon, I'm going to drop it over the edge 100% of the time, because it's just more fun that way. And then I wait a second and you put it back in my food, and then we continue the meal. It's great. It's a win-win-win.
And you're going to do it every time, because you're the bitch in this situation.
Absolutely. Fortunately, it's been made a lot easier by getting the catchy, which is, I think I talked about it before, but it's a little, basically imagine like a piece of Bristol board that has a little, that goes underneath the baby seat. And so all the things that she drops fall onto that instead of onto the floor, which just make it way easier to reach and pull up and clean, so that the floor underneath her is not a horrible mess. So that thing is coming in the clutch. But yeah, the full-on words and thoughts and gestures and all of that coming together completely. And my God, it's happening so fast. So,
and it's always, so you're now into it, and you've seen, like, it's one of those things like, I can tell you, anybody can tell you. And you're like, yeah, no, I understand. But then it happens. You're like, oh, now I understand. Because that happened to me, right? And so, like, the one that no one told me is everything is in huge bursts. Like, when you look at the milestone chart, you expect, like, a gradual progression. Because you'll be like, oh, no, my baby's 11 months old, and they're not doing any of the year-old milestones. Don't worry. They'll do all of them in the same day tomorrow.
Yeah. The bar just
and act like they could always do it. That's the frustrating part.
I've been here where you at.
Milestones are ahead because we are now in the battle of, hey man, do you want some blueberries? I want some blueberries on my plate right now, Dada. I'm like, oh. No.
Yeah.
That's not how you ask. And he goes, may I have blueberries on my plate right now, Dada, please, s'il vous plaît? And I go, yes, that's better.
You understood. You understood the whole time.
He absolutely knew, but it's faster to be rude.
Yeah, it's funny how this is all happening in the span of a few days. But yet, still just we on her stomach on tummy time, won't crawl, doesn't want to do it. Just loves standing up, loves mimic walking, you know, but like when it comes to moving around, it's like, nah, I hate this actually. And with distractions and toys, she scoots backwards from tummy time, but just won't military crawl, won't roll.
Yeah.
You know, and they say some kids literally never crawl and then just stand up and walk.
Some kids never crawl. Some kids never crawl correctly. Like some kids hit a scoot, or a weird push the whole time until they just get up and fucking walk. And they're like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, no, she's going to sequence break because she hates it. And like, even though she's displayed the ability to like be on her stomach and hang out there for a while if distracted, she always just goes, yeah, but I don't like this though, and goes into like a skydiving pose of like, stop this, I don't want to be here anymore, even if it's been like 2-3 seconds, you know.
So I don't remember the exact reasoning, but I know my dad walked before he crawled.
Wow.
He just skipped it, and that's bad. I believe the reason is because if they skip it, when they're walking, they walk early, like really early, and they're super top heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And like the falling risk
is bad.
Way higher.
Okay. I also feel like there's a basic, like, I mean, there's a mobility question too of like,
thanks for the big rate from Giant Bomb. Love you guys.
Thank you very much. This
show would not exist without that show. For sure.
And you can even go further back and say on the spot.
Yeah.
Right? Go back, you know.
You mean hotspot?
The hotspot, excuse me. Yes. Back.
Mr. Rich Gallup, absolutely.
Should we talk about digital lockers and mind shares?
I don't want to talk about aging things in my digital locker right now, Wooly.
We can always go back to it. If I put my child...
Somebody in the chat says, what slop am I drinking? It's a fucking jug of coffee, bro. You never seen coffee before? You think it's shit? Yeah, it's shit. Why'd I do that?
Why'd you do that? I don't know why you did that. You did that to yourself.
I get so mad?
That's crazy. Anyway. Well done. It's just... Cool. Hi, welcome, new folks. What's up? This is what it is. You seeing this shit? All right.
I'm just covered in coffee now. Shit.
Amazing. So
I need a paper towel.
Yeah. All right. So you put your
I'll just use a.
There you go.
I'll just use a shirt. There we go.
So you put your kid in a digital locker, right?
Yeah.
And then when you open it up, you see they age up and they learned it all. No, that's cool. That's cool stuff. And I'm going to, I'm going to stare at that drumming understanding and that rhythm thing that's going on there with great interest, just if that's what she finds fun, then that's what you check out more of that. Anyway, beyond that, there was a couple things I checked out this week. So, continuing to play Pragmata. That game's, again, just fucking phenomenal. New weapons that have gotten and unlocked and new build types and modes.
How are the trials? I want to hear that they're tough as fuck.
So the trials, there's some trials that are insane that are like ridiculously precise to get all the trials are fine if your bare minimum requirement is to just complete it, but if you're trying to get
if you don't want to just complete
if you want to get all 3 bonuses and they're like 2-star difficulty and it's like you have to be precise as fuck with every step of what you're doing. And there's moments there that are almost like Mirror's Edge trials from back in the day of like really, really get this movement turning and precision platforming down for some of these. It's wildly tough in some cases. However, the one that took up most of the end of my last session was difficult not because of the challenge, but because there was a mechanical problem that was starting to be an issue, and that felt bad. There's an issue going on in the game that most of the time is rewarding, where in situations where you want to hack something that you're not fully locked onto, or sometimes you kill an enemy and but you've begun locking onto it, it'll target, and Diana will start hacking the nearby enemy. right? So there is a loose, even if, because there's an auto aim option in settings, but even when it's off, hack has an auto aiming to it, which is oftentimes good for, okay, I'm looking at this, but I actually don't mind the fact that I'm hacking something that's slightly off camera right now, right? If it's completely off camera, the hack fails, by the way. So but the partial, it still works. What ends up being really frustrating is this particular challenge I told you about is the one with the healers. Yeah. I mentioned, right? So
yeah, you did.
I went back to it to try to clear the third part of it, which is do it in less than 80 seconds. Or 100 seconds. And the problem with it is that auto-locking on hacking thing creates some issues where you can't lock on to the healer when it's beginning its healing action, and you stop and start and stop. You release aim down the sights, relock on, and then it's not working, or you use the manual hard lock toggle, which is a Souls-like, switch your little cursor to your different targets, and it won't toggle to it. And then after a couple seconds, you eventually can target it. But that wasted time just feels really bad because the screen's filled with bullshit that you need to be immensely on top of and you don't have a fraction of a second to deal with. So the lock-on is really punishing when the only way to do damage... You can't beat the mission if you're not doing damage by hacking the healers mid-heal. But hacking the healers mid-heal is weirdly difficult to do because of some weird reason. And like I kind of went through a bunch of different versions of it, and I started getting tilted towards the end of the sesh because, like, in addition to grief coming at me, I felt like there were moments where I'm like, you're watching me look at a thing, stop aiming, re-aim, and it's not acquiring the target I'm looking at. And there's times where missiles are coming at me, and I turn and I look at the missile, and I stop aiming, and I re-aim, and I stop aiming, and I re-aim, and it will not start hacking the missile. And I'm like, game, I don't know what you want me to do, because the whole mechanic is look and aim at something to begin the hacking process.
Says game, how?
So that got really frustrating, and it feels like if there were an option to be stricter about Diana's hacking aim, that would be maybe like an advanced option to put in the settings, but that would probably help to basically be like, if I don't look at this thing, stop hacking it. Give me exactly what my cursor wants to hack, precisely when I'm hacking it, and give me a sharper fall off, and that way you have better control. And I could see this being almost like a, automatic versus manual type situation. But, it's fine in most cases, in most fights, because you're like, okay, well, I'm hacking something, I'll adapt, and then I'll just, because it's going to take too long for me to stop hacking this current thing and switch to this other thing, I'll continue finishing this puzzle, and then I'll just move out of the way, and you can mostly deal with the fight. But in a challenge like that, where you have to do it in a very precise way, and you can't hack the wrong thing or you're going to fail, that gets really frustrating when the control is, like, not up to snuff with the speed you want it to go at. So yeah, that was a weird thing. And I started to feel that at the end of that session. And that's the only negative I've had really with the game, was that particular challenge and how that was going. And funny enough, like Min had earlier in that day had just sent a video. He's like, here's me doing this thing and how annoying this exact mission is. So
yeah, I see somebody over here saying they had to switch to mouse and keyboard to do one of the trials just because they needed to aim faster.
Yeah, it might just be that mission, but it really is annoying, and it feels like maybe a patch will come down the line to address it, because I haven't felt this aiming issue with any other enemy as badly as I felt it with this healing one specifically. It switches from a regular hacking phase to this healing phase that stops you from being able to interact with it for a while, Anyway, that being said, the rest is great. And, progressing there. The challenge is ramping up. The screen is getting cluttered with shit, and it's getting harder and harder to keep on track, with things. Another problem I kind of started running into is the offensive mode I was describing last time, which is like, while you're in the middle of your second hack, dump a bunch of ammo in and then cash out the damage. If you're not picking up guns that dump ammo, then you can't cash out the damage, which means your whole system doesn't work. And the guns you're picking up, you besides your carbine and your your carbine and your shotgun, everything else has a slow charge time, which means this whole thing is not ideal, So thankfully, I just beat a boss that allowed me to access more modes, and I'm going to be coming back in and trying to build a system around heat. And there's like multiple things I got now that are going to be about building up heat. And I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. Because like I the limitations of this offensive mode are you don't get enough offensive guns, when you're in the thick of things. So, I do feel that you can perhaps save your ammo for the big dudes and to do the optimal damage to them, and you get your 4 shots off and that gun's done, And I also, this is a really, really great thing that you eventually get, which is the ability to cycle, on a slot, which makes it a lot easier to manage your ammo. But it still is a problem when you're like, I have no shotgun, my carbine's empty, and I'm looking around the room, and neither of those guns are on the ground. Offensive mode is useless to me right now. So, anyway, moving on. There was, I guess not much to say on this so far, but I cleared all the characters in Slay the Spire 2.
Already, jeez.
Figured it out, got the hang of it, and was able to, make it through with all of them. So I'm like, okay, I see what the builds are now for them. So I kind of got into looking at something else. I heard about another indie weird card game thing called Forbidden Solitaire. And
I heard of Forbidden Solitaire. It's on my wish list.
So I popped that in to take a look at what's going on. And it's pretty early, but it seems like it's from, it might be from the same folks that made the Hotline game, Paranormal Home Safety Hotline. I think it's from them, or they're at least included in the promotion credits for it or so, because I saw them listed in other games. Yeah, seems like it's interesting because you boot it up and it immediately just looks like an old PC, fucking late 90s, super VGA game. And you get very, very quickly introduced to the fact that this is a meta-narrative indie puzzle game.
Yeah.
And
that's a thing now.
It's a thing now. And I wonder, I'm like, Inscription, we talked about how the part you didn't like was how you got hoodwinked on the fact that it was a meta-narrative indie puzzle game.
No, actually, no, that did not hoodwink me. My complaint was very specific. I loved that I got hoodwinked. My problem was very simple. I didn't think any of the follow-up games were as good as the first one.
Right, okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Because I loved adventure game in 2D. Wow.
The first one was the best one.
And then I got to the robot thing, and I'm like, I actually hate the way the fucking robot version fucking plays. I hate it.
The first one is the best one. It is the best thought out as well. The others are.
And I know that's thematic. I know that's like a big thematic thing. That chapter 3 is kind of not as much fun on purpose, but still though.
And then your finale is just a big homage that's really cool, but it's much simpler. So in this case, it's on its sleeve immediately telling you that it's meta-narrative because you don't boot up the game, you boot up somebody's Windows login, and you're on their desktop booting up Forbidden Solitaire. And I
gotta say, I love fake desktop shit.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's a great framing device.
It was weird because so it's unfortunate, but it was necessary with Doki Doki Literature Club. That was a game that worked as a.
What are you talking about? Doki Doki Literature Club is just a family-friendly visual novel.
It is a family-friendly visual novel, but when it got ported to the Switch, it had to put a fake OS framing device on it because the parts of the game that need an OS don't work if you have to do it with it. Yeah, so I think a little bit of that effect gets kind of diminished by putting it inside of its own fake OS. You don't get that effect as much. But I will say that in this case, yeah, you start out on the desktop and it's kind of being very obvious about the fact that it's a MetaNet game, because as you're playing through it or whatever, you're getting DMs from people on our desktop, and like it's not hiding it at all, and you're getting linked to like YouTube videos in game and JPEGs and stuff, and I whatever it is hasn't happened yet. I'm still early enough that like the basic loop of the game is basic fun little solitaire kind of setup, and we're going to see what's kind of coming and everything. But I feel that now that part of the game has been disarmed in a way, and I guess post inscription and all that, you kind of are like, my bar for this, I'm willing to play more, but my bar for it is so much higher now. I guess
the novelty is
the novelty's gone, so I'm really like, this solitaire game, it's all right. Whatever this is going, but it's not like holy fuck crack Balatro going on. Therefore, whatever this meta narrative is needs to rock my shit, and I don't think that's fair. But it's simply because of like.
Well, I mean, that's the world you live in.
That's the world we live in. Yeah, I just after playing the others, I'm like
It's like I was talking about Symphony of the Night, and people who like Symphony of the Night is lauded as one of the greatest games ever. But like, it's on like a couple of objective merits, not quite as good as some of the later Metroidvania games that came afterwards that might have been the first one you played. It's like, how come people glaze this up so much? Because it was the fucking 90s, man!
That's it.
This was the only fucking thing like this in town!
So Forbidden Solitaire is just it's coming in the it's standing on the shoulders of giants, therefore we're going to judge it based on that. So waiting to see what it's going to be, but the shoe hasn't fallen yet. And I'm also eyeballing this other game that is a meta narrative indie puzzle game called Titanium Court.
Okay,
which
I don't know this one, so I'm going to go look at it.
So this is another quirky thing that either is about to come out or has just come out or is something.
Is quirky a pejorative in your head?
No.
Because it kind of is for me.
No, I don't use it pejoratively.
Okay.
It can be charming. Well, okay. But then I would have said
it can be pejorative.
But then I would have said charming if not quirky.
Yeah, right.
I guess.
Titanium Court, you said.
Titanium Court, and it appears to be a quirky.
This is not what I thought this was going to look like at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but all I know is based on the trailer and people and the reviews and people talking about it, there's something going on plot wise, narrative wise, beyond just the simple match 3 puzzle game.
Screenshots and video are not forthcoming at all.
No. And the trailer is also being like tongue in cheek about the fact that, hey, you're looking at Tetris Attack, but then there's some other shit going on with it.
There are 4 screenshots on this store page of a empty dialogue box with an extra point of ellipses on it.
Yeah. So
something is
right. And so this game, which Titanium Court, is also existing not only in a world where, for all these games we're talking about, it's not only in a world where Inscription exists, but also Frog Fractions exists.
Frog Fractions does exist, Wooly.
And we can never forget that. So we'll
never forget it.
I am very down to see where we go with these weird quirky things, but I am setting the bar much higher whenever I play something that like is right off the bat advertising what it's going to be here, because there's stuff like like UFO 50 where I was wondering if there was going to be one of those, but it really just felt like it was a collection of great games, and anything else beyond that was not really the point, and I will say that if I play the basic game, and the basic game at its simplest, like Inscription, is one that's really, really engaging and fun to play, you almost go like, well, I don't care. I'm here to play this anyway, and if something else starts happening, then so be it. Because if I were playing Slay the Spire or Balatro or any of those other games, and then you were to tell me, oh, also there's a meta-narrative to it, I'd be like, okay, cool. Anyway, back to this great game. So, yeah, checking that out. Beyond that, popped in to XKO duos, and hey,
how is that?
It works. You grab a second controller.
It should have no issue working, right?
Yeah, we popped in a second controller, and that's it. The only issue that I don't like is it does have a prioritization of peripherals. So, like, as soon as you plug a stick in, as soon as you plug a stick in, that stick is always player one over a controller. And I don't know why it does things that way.
Makes sense.
I guess, but if you have a controller already plugged in as device one, X input one should be controller one.
Yeah, but they're like, no, this motherfucker crazy using an arcade stick.
I mean,
let him have player one so he doesn't stab someone.
Other games will use the order of input as the order of device. So stick goes in first, that's a stick. Stick goes in third, it's third slot. So, but yeah, so that worked out. That was fine. A casual mode and private matches only, of course. Popped back in Invincible to see what's going on with the full roster of that game, and music is pretty cool, I have to say. Who was Reggie pointed out who did the music? I forgot who it was. There was a name behind it, but I just notable that the soundtrack is good. Glitch Mob is behind it. Glitch Mob, that's why. Yeah. So that makes sense. And playing the full roster and checking out more of the cast, there's some shit I like seeing over there. There's Conquest and Powerplex and some of those dudes that are season 3 villains that are pretty dope. Yeah, they did a good job representing them with a move list that's interesting. I feel like that's a curiosity pick for me that I'll dabble every now and then. I enjoy the feeling of it that I'll dabble. It's far from my priority list, and it's not that great to look at. So, but I do have fun enough with what's going on that I'll pop back in to see what these characters are up to and stuff every now and then, I think. And yeah, I also saw that like the story mode was like an hour or something like that. So pretty short, I think, for people that are looking for single player. So not much to it. But there's one thing that I was bummed out by, which is Conquest, the villain of season 3, who's
that's the old guy with the hand.
Yep. Prepare for my arrival, worm. That dude is fucking sick. What if Wilford Brimley was a Saiyan come to destroy the Earth,
Okay.
Just, yeah. And
is he going to give me diabetes?
He absolutely will. And he delivers the best monologue in the entire series. And it's unfortunately not part of the character's kit in the game. And I just felt like, I know it'd be hard to work it in there, but boy, I would have loved if they found a way to do so, Anyway, the Aaron Paul character, Powerplex, is also doing his best sound alike and landing it way harder than the Seth Rogen is. I'll give them that credit. They clearly got the actors who are willing to come back, like J.K. Simmons showed up and such, but I
saw some clips, and some of the sound alikes are doing they're working hard. They're working real hard, and others are doing a great job. Like the guy they got to do fake Goggins is pretty good
for Cecil. Yeah,
I'm sure someone in my household would immediately clock it as fake Goggins, but I thought it was pretty good.
I think. Sorry, 1 second, BRB.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, phone call. So the Powerplex replacement, the Aaron Paul replacement, is extra important because Aaron Paul said that he doesn't want to play that character anymore because it's too emotionally, like, it's too much anguish to play the role.
What?
Yeah.
He played Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. After playing Jesse, this was harder, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't pick this back up."
Also, hey, raise up my hand. I am not an actor. I've never been an actor. Does he know it's fake?
Yeah. Well, look,
does he know it's not real?
Not everyone can be Sir Anthony Hopkins, okay? And to be fair, like, as much as we make fun of like the method bullshit, you know, the method acting bullshit,
and I will continue to do
yeah. Oh no, so you know, American History X.
Yeah.
So the girl, Faruka Balls.
Wait, whoa. You can't tell me method and then go, well, you know, in American History X.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. So, Faruka Balls, I think the name of the actor who played the girl in that, was going method, and after a certain amount of time, she was basically on the set not talking to anyone of color, being like, I'm in character. And
it's not method enough.
And they had to eventually be like, hey, can you stop? It's getting really awkward, and the staff on set feel weird about this and don't want to work with you, and it's getting weird. And they had to tell her to stop being method racist on the set.
You know, that reminds me of maybe my favorite, like, comment joke that I've seen over and over on TikToks, on YouTube videos, on whatever. It's like you'll have a clip of, like, I think it's Adam Driver in I think it's American Klansman, just going nuts, just going absolutely crazy on the racism, and then the top comment is like, the line was "get out of here."
Yeah. You got to put it all in. Yep. You got to dig deep. That's what they teach you at acting school, you know? But here I will give the olive branch and out to Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the greatest fucking actors of our generation, because he goes away for 10 years, comes back, and goes insanely method. And when asked about why, he goes, because I'm a bad actor. I have to do it this way.
That's the answer! Everyone goes, oh, you know what? That's some humility. Because method's so ostentatious and pretentious, right? But it's like, he
is so good. And he's straight up like, I have to go method because I'm bad at this. That's the only way for me to deliver a good performance. What a beast.
I remember watching a bunch of interviews with DiCaprio and Sam Jackson about Django Unchained, in which Tarantino and Sam Jackson were not happy with DiCaprio's performance. They're like, it's not mean enough. It's not inhuman enough. You need to... Yeah, and also, you got to say it all the time.
You're right.
You don't want to say it all the time. And so, like, Sam Jackson had to sit him down and give him, like, this speech about, like, you got to fucking do it. Like, and gave this whole thing. And after that, DiCaprio wouldn't talk to him or any other people on set. You just go in, do it, be crazy, leave.
He gave him the pass on set. Yeah, I think
you're acting.
You're acting. I think
now it's different when the writer of the movie casts himself to give himself the pass in his own movie
multiple times in multiple movies.
Like, Quentin,
across the course of your career,
didn't have to be you, did it?
Funny. Like, what comes up? What happens more, feet or the N-word? Which happens to Quentin more? It's a toss-up. It goes either way. The count. I don't know. It could be 50-50.
Hold on. Here's the question: how are we counting it? Are we counting instances or seconds? Right.
I was thinking
the Tarantino N-word's like 2 seconds, but you'll lounge on a shot of a foot for like a minute.
Okay, so but there's layers to it, because there's the simple there's the zoom in on the foot, and there's the word being said, but then there's Quentin himself on Salma Hayek's foot, and Quentin himself on the N-word. So there's a difference between...
That's a multiplier.
That's what I'm saying, right? There's force multiplication involved in in the equation. I don't know, but there's some math to figure out here. N-word versus foot math. I don't know.
Bill before I knew about any of that stuff, and I was like, this wiggle your big toe scene is weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. This is a long scene for nothing.
Please look forward to the new Quentin Tarantino movie, the final of his career, N-word toe.
And then the subtitle would be like, "Gotta catch him."
Now, for what it's worth, that is the name for a Brazil nut.
I do know that.
Okay, so then, yeah, there you go. There's a reason to call your movie that. It's about the Brazil nut.
It? Felt like it.
Mm-hmm.
No, Quentin, no. Think of some bullshit.
Starring Paul Dano.
I got distracted. I don't even know what we're talking. We're talking about Invincible Versus.
I was saying that so as a result of Aaron Paul unable to reclaim that role, they need a sound-alike for this character as that continues to exist in the show. So, you know, kudos to them for that. Anyways, method racism is fucking wild, bro. Moving on.
I wonder how many people are like, please, can I get the role? Please, 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 please. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And then just they're like,
I'm
to do it.
At the end of the character's trailer in the game, he literally yells, "He can't keep getting away with this," which is not a line from Invincible. It is not a line from Invincible at all.
Well,
yeah.
Hey, I just said, "Aw, come on." Let me tell you something, okay? You will, in a year, be exposed to your own verbal crutches in the most roast-ass way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have now been walking around my house and heard, "Oh, come on."
Yeah.
From another room. And I'm like, do I really say it that often? So, remember when I was telling you, oh, the child said, like, I'll say something, and the kid will go, "Don't say that to me."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
where the fuck did he get this? Until I caught myself saying that to chat.
So all of that is, I'm expecting to be amplified on the basis of her being within earshot for a good chunk of what's going on for now. That's not going to be.
I already have one. Remember when we were talking about the Say Jam Slam story where you called up Say Jam and you were like, "Hey," and you went, yo. We watched that clip, and for like 2 weeks, the little man was just walking around the house going, yo.
Oh, it's so infectious. Earworms, man. God damn it. Yeah. And listen, let's be real. You've already done that via Best Friends 10 years ago to an entire generation of fucking YouTube kids.
We can't talk
about
that.
You know.
Have you noticed some of these messages from chat have gotten like the distance is starting to transcend like life stages?
Yeah.
Like it's now, I'm in middle school now. I have my own baby, and I'm like,
I got a sub that I saw a sub that popped up that said, whatever the amount of months it is, that equals 10 years. And they were like, 10 years? And I was like, holy shit. That's fucking crazy. Thank you for subscribing for 10 years. Anyway, also shout outs to, I was going to say on the voice acting, Alex Lay does a great Steven Yeun sound alike for Invincible, actually. Okay, so all that aside, the only other thing I wanted to mention, which I don't know if you heard any of it, but it's kind of interesting. The Daigo versus Mena 1st to 10.
Okay, so I saw that video come up, and it was like, why did Japan hate it?
Yeah.
And I clicked on it, and I'm like, how is this 30 minutes long? There must be like a much deeper thing going on here than I would have expected.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you caught the gist of that.
From you.
Yeah. It's really
just the tiniest bit.
Yeah.
So I need a re-explanation from the source.
And it's super interesting. Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, Brian F is the best source. He did a great video on the aftermath.
I'm here with you right now.
He did a great video.
Available. Hello.
On the breakdown of it. But like after watching that initial first to 10, so Daigo fought Mena RD as an event before the Evo Japan weekend, and they decided to brand it as Evo Legends / Kimono Michi, which is a first to 10 series that takes place in Japan. And there's the brief of it, right, to kind of cut to the chase on what is a much longer discussion, just simply for time here, is that a lot after it happened, a lot of Japanese fans were really, really mad online, and Rick, the Evo organizer, had to apologize for how the event was run and for everything that went wrong.
Won.
Pardon?
I'm assuming Mena won.
Yes. Mena won 10-6, and it was actually
because he is a young person and Daigo is an old man. Comparison.
Meadows also a ridiculous beast, and he's playing Street Fighter 6 to the utmost. Daigo is playing Street Fighter to the utmost. And at the end of the day, I think looking at the track record of placement,
ain't bad.
Not at all. In fact, he had
against the guy who won Evo not last year, but 2 years.
And Daigo took the lead initially in the first two games, and then got it to 5-5 as well, and took the lead a second time in the set. It was a pretty good set. That being said, Mena is not as young as the young incredible players that are coming up making a name for themselves now, but he is of the newer generation, you know. But I mean, he was killing it from Street Fighter V and so on as well. Anyway, history long aside, the Japanese players were going underneath that message and on Twitter overall going like, this is disgraceful. Never, right? Like, how dare you look down on us and on this event, and kind of just were going in talking about how Evo came along and trampled on this special thing that the community cherished. And it was really confusing because essentially everybody that watched it kind of heard about there was these technical failings where the screen turned off. There was it started late. It was delayed by like an hour and a half.
That's disrespectful.
All that stuff was bad, right?
That's disrespectful.
The game was zoomed in too far. You couldn't see properly. All these weird things were happening, but those were not even the crux of it. There were moments where they'd cut to the crowd and people like Bonchan, who's another famous legendary player, was like, stop looking at us and focus on the players. He started yelling at the camera, and people were going on in the comments about how like this whole event, asking people who they thought was going to win was a disrespectful thing. Why would you do that? But when you're watching the event, you're watching what looks like a normal first to 10 Evo stage moment where they're like, all right, guys, let's make some noise. Who wants Mena to win? Who wants Daigo to win? All right, let's go, you know? And all of that was just standard esports, FGC, big stage mannerisms. And it turns out that all of that is insanely insulting to this particular type of event known as Kimono Michi. So the event was started by Daigo. The word means the beast's path. And essentially, as somebody who created the idea of being a professional, fighting game player in Japan, where it was looked down upon in society, the idea to keep playing and try to do this until it becomes a profession was a wild, crazy, unheard of thing. And this whole idea behind the event is one where it's not just a regular first to 10 that you do for a money match or for views or for anything. It's meant to kind of be a like definitive understanding of who is the better player forever, and you don't in this game, and you do not get a rematch. You do not redo this for any reason. It is your pride. It is your career on the line. And there's a lot of like, there's a somberness to the event that is meant to be conveyed by the history of how it went down. One of the biggest ones, that we go back to was Tokido winning Evo and then losing a first to 10 in Kimono Michi against Daigo, crying at the arcades, and everyone was like, man, he really puts his heart into it. He really felt that set. But we didn't know the full context, that it was like, no, this meant more, right, to the Japanese player. And this was something that was understood by the Japanese FGC that we did not know about. And if there are like those in the West that were aware of this, I never thought of this event as anything with that level of gravitas to it, and it makes these previous events make so much sense. So
yeah, no, if I see a 1st to 10 of an older player, I go, cool.
Yeah. Right.
That's it.
That's it. And then sometimes you go, it's a 1st to 10 or a 1st to 20, and there's $100,000 on the line. Oh my God, Clockwork versus
cool.
Neo. Holy fuck!
Think of like the dignified and solemn retirement of a hero,
and
because he's not gonna fucking die at the end of the set.
Right. And so
he can just come back whenever he wants.
And so Daigo, he's undefeated in the Kemonomichi series, this was something for the players that was like, they were looking at this event. Every time it cut to the crowd, it's like, stop looking at the crowd, focus on the players. This event is supposed to be just about them. And the fact that the previous ones, there's early ones where it was just held in an arcade, at an arcade machine, people crowded around it. And the idea is almost like, you are lucky to be witnessing this event at all. So when it becomes this big main stage thing, the least you could do, if you're aware of the history and what it means, is carry it out with that same energy. But instead it became just a big stage event, and that shit on everything. And so that was like not something at all that was understood at the time, right? Compounded by the fact that there were awkward moments where, like, one of the things before the match was a mistranslation of what Daigo said. A really rough one, because there was a big, what I'm not talking about now is like this whole going into it, everyone was like, dude, you don't have to do this. Mena's going to beat you. This is too much. You don't have to face someone that is this strong. And he kind of had this big promo event, almost like cutting a wrestling promo, but it was real, of him being like, is that any way to live your life? You know, to wake up and run away from these challenges. And, you know, he kind of just waxed on about like his career so far and how he found himself like thinking like, oh, maybe I'd be walking away from the genre. But he had this whole moment of like building up a really hype pre-match vibe of being like, I'm going to train and be as best as I can for this fight.
I'm going to hold up my hand.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, these are competitions, and all competitions have overlap. But the general, you don't have to do this, you don't have to fight somebody this strong, is usually associated with competitions that will harm your body. Like,
yeah, so
yes, you'll lose face.
So the reason why that energy was so prevalent amongst the entire community is because looking at where Daigo is at in Street Fighter 6 and looking at where Mena is at, just by placement and regular showing, there is a feeling of, why are we doing Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson? We don't need to do this, right? And that was
the reason they did that was for the money.
Of course.
You guys doing it for the money?
But you know that the energy behind that, like, what are you trying to say here? Why are you doing this match when it feels so, like, lopsided? Is what the question that was being proposed was. And so it turns out that it's like, you know, so for him, he's like, why would I? He's like, no, this is not that. I'm not running away from that, right? I'm going to face this down. And furthermore, I was thinking about like retiring, but he found himself like feeling stronger than ever and more invigorated as he was like locked in for the set. And these Kemonomichi sets are always meant to be like, you have months to prepare for this one moment and that's it. And then it's done. You put it all in on the line, just your pride for that one fight. So he found himself so invigorated by that he couldn't believe it. He's like, I feel like I'm at my best in years. And he conveyed that on stage when they asked him how he felt, where he said, I'm turning 45 next month, but today I'm in my prime. So if you defeat me, you should feel proud.
Oh, that's a good quote.
And everyone got hyped, and you can hear the moment where the crowd goes, whoa, you know, Ume-san, like he's so, read all that. That got translated into, I'm turning 45 next month, so clearly I'm in my prime.
That's different.
Right?
Hey, listen, man, moms are tough.
And that completely deflated what that was. And it was totally taken the wrong way as a like, yeah, I'm pretty old, so this shouldn't be a big... And that, too, was a rough fucking
That's
thing.
not good to do.
Yeah, you know? So I just found this whole little moment very interesting to because I'm like, you can be in the same community for years, right? For all these years and not know about this cultural context applied to this event. And I saw a big part of the discussion around after I talked about it and, you know, discussing it with Reggie too, that like, there's also a philosophical difference where here, for example, we might look at it and go, you should like never say you can't be better than this person or you're locked in time or you can't improve. You should always be able to improve. You should always be able to work harder to get better. Right. And I think there's an understanding there that there's something valid to that in the sense that the willingness to improve over your losses is the whole point of why the genre is fun.
You know what? Well, yeah, I could beat up Mike Tyson. Just give me 6 months.
Just give me some time.
Yeah.
But I think if two people enter into like a particular set with the same mutual understanding of that, you got to respect it. That's the grounds the terms they lie by, and that's the grounds they're willing to fight on. And everybody that is in the scene knows about that as well. We did not know about that energy coming into this type of first to 10, but it makes so much more sense why all that anger was there and why there was so much, all the feeling that goes into it from the previous history of the event, you know? And the rules of nature ass name that is, you know, the beast's path or the animal's path is like almost this implication of like, you can be better in the future and win future events, but Tokido's crying because he knows he's never going to be better than Daigo. In this moment, he lost that set, and he has to accept that result. And then, in this moment in time, and then the future, who knows what it holds. And I understand that way of looking at things. It's not the way we're used to looking at things, but I get it, and I get that anger, you know?
Nah, just be like, that fucking pussy got lucky. I'll get him next time. There you go. Done.
Yeah.
No self-reflection required.
Interesting ass event. Interesting stuff. I feel like, well, anyway, I mean, you know, now that it's something that I think is understood, the whole bit with like Evo Legends as the name and all that is, it's just, I'm not looking forward to seeing how the 9 events next year on the calendar continues to affect things.
You might only have to see them happen once. Because the Saudis are already pulling out of a bunch of their sports investments.
Yep, golf is drying up. So we'll see what actually happens.
Due to complicated geopolitical events, the Saudi Arabians have less money to throw around on stupid bullshit like fighting games.
Never mattered to begin with. But yeah, that's something that I get there too, and I guess I'll also say too, in the wake of that video of some of the discussion around it as well, is the number of folks that like a couple people were popping up to go like, man, it's just fucking video games. They need to chill, and it's like,
stand that mentality.
Well, you're on a channel discussing this as that is like, it is a event that is taking place in this community with people who literally have dedicated their lives to the thing you're talking about. It keeps the lights on and feeds their families.
I think
what the fuck are you talking about?
I was streaming FF14. And there was a guy in there when I was reading the patch notes that called someone else in there a nerd for something they were doing. And I'm like, you are in my show watching me read patch notes, dog.
Yeah.
You are a massive fucking nerd. Are you crazy?
You're clicking here listening.
Have you lost your mind?
You're listening to this discussion about this set in this fighting game taking place in Japan. Like, you're here, you know. Anyway, it's kind of nuts to just hand wave dismiss that. And not even think of the context of like, okay, well, that's you in your life. But these people in their lives, the fact that they're this dedicated to it is what allowed them to be at the peak of the fucking genre. You don't get to that seat and get to be world quality at anything with that attitude. So
I gotta tell you though, there is part of the attitude. I feel like it's connected. It's like an underneath like prerequisite, which is always like, I could beat him if I had time to practice.
Yeah, it's this level,
like,
but you're looking at Steph Curry fucking like just absolutely nailing buckets, and you're just like, man, it's just a fucking game.
Yeah.
You know, like
well, it's the competition version of the narcissist prayer. Right. He's not that good. Well, if he is, then the game's not that important. Well, if it is, it's like, well, I could do it if I really wanted to.
Yeah. No, it was just, I couldn't believe that a straw man walked in the door at the end of the conversation.
Can you believe there are people who live their lives and walk around and are a straw man
made of straw? Just leaving trails.
They actually are. You and I have encountered them. Like the people who just have the worst opinion on literally every single thing you could ever bring up. And their opinion is as simple as it appears. That's always the one that gets me. Like, oh, is there like a reason? No. This shit-ass opinion just fully formed like Athena from the fucking top of Zeus's head and went, you know, I don't think these guys are any good. I could beat them.
It's what happens when the first thought is the only thought. There's nothing deeper. There's no reflection. There's no second consideration. Anyway, let's take a quick word from our sponsors,
whom we love.
Oh, Wooly versus
actually. I need to take a break after you do your plug.
Okay, Wooly versus on Twitch and YouTube. Phoenix Wright continues, as does Pragmata, and more fighting games on the weekend. So check the schedule on my socials, and that'll be where we're at.
If you want to check out my stupid shit this week over at twitch.tv/PatStaresAt and YouTube.com fucking Pat Stares. It's in there. You know where to go. I got a bunch of bullshit this week. We're doing the podcast right now. Tomorrow, this is a very important announcement. Tomorrow at May 6th at 3 p.m. Pacific on the Primal Data Center, I'm going to be running all the FF11 raids in a row with chat. Ideally, we'll get a 24-man group in there. So come on down for that. Make sure to go to Primal. Honestly, if you want to join that, go to Primal right the fuck now. Don't get locked out. Thursday, we got a Dead as Disco sponsorship where we're also going to give away a bunch of Dead as Disco. And then we're going to do a sponsored Marvel Rivals. I'm getting attacked by this dog. Then we got more Kingdom Hearts, and I'm starting back up on Pragmata on Sunday.
Dead as Disco is fucking sick. That game's incredible.
I'm glad.
All right. BRB. All righty. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors.
Caboose, do you love our sponsors? Do you love them?
I hope so.
He does.
This week, the podcast is sponsored by Reggie.
Reggie? Ooh, very cool. Very cool.
Reggie in the lab is now officially a thing.
Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get one of those. And I'm going to have you, and then I can do whatever I want with you guys.
And then that's the bit. The system is online. So this is coming out May 11th. If you go to Makeship, you got the Reggie in the Lab plush. It's going to be available, which is next Monday. And it's super sick. He's got a little arcade stick, right? It's the classic Mad Catz TE1. Mm-hmm. You know, he's got his little...
A lot of good times with that stick.
Yeah. The original from Street Fighter 4 days. He's got his Get Into Fighting Game shirt. He's got his classic red, and he's got his red kicks and the fro and all. It's all there. It is all there. So there you go. Available, and then you got the whole thing. And then just like the last time too, like it'll be around for a couple weeks time. So there's a limited window. So I think right now when you go to it, there's like a blurry thing that you can't see, but whatever. This is what it looks like. But yeah, starting next Monday, that'll be available. I'll remind y'all. But that's cool. That's cool. That's a thing. Now Kith. Now Kith.
Could put one on either side now.
You think you can fit both of these in a jar? Is that what you're trying to say?
I have multiple of these.
You think there's
jars?
You can do whatever you want with your purchase. You just don't have to tell me about it.
Once it's in your hands, it's yours.
All right. No,
don't turn me into a craven idol. No.
Too late. I'm a marketable plushie.
Nothing to be done.
Yeah. It's so funny too because Reggie, Reggie's energy is just like he's almost like
Reggie's just chill. Cool.
Yeah. So it's just he's almost like why, which I'm sure y'all will hear in a minute.
Because people like you, Reg.
Yeah,
that's it.
He's like, like, all right, dude. Too late. We are also sponsored by this week by Raycon.
I love you, Raycon.
That is your solution to getting some good headphones, high quality and affordable. They got
free of the tyranny of wires.
The tyranny of wires needs to be defeated. That is a problem. But more than just that, you want to get a pair of headphones that are decently charged with a good battery life, and you want them to be reasonably priced. So the Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the classics, are packed with upgrades. They got active noise cancellation. They got super comfortable ergonomic design. They stay put. I use them for boxing, and when I'm listening to my tunes while hitting the bags, it is perfect for staying in place and not falling out, so I appreciate that. Got some cool colors to pick from as well. Cool mint, blush violet, etc. And, you've got the ability to, select, you have your multiple devices that you can connect to. I know Punch Mom's using them on a regular basis. She's got them in right now, so she doesn't have to listen to this junk. And you take your calls, listen to your shows, whatever you want to do.
I hear enough of that guy already, she said.
That's it. You got over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee, so there's zero reason to overpay. Check them out. The Everyday Earbuds Classic are the perfect addition to your everyday routine. Go to buyraycon.com/superbeast. You get 50% off. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/superbeast. Thanks, Raycon, for sponsoring.
Thank you, Raycon.
The podcast is sponsored by HelloFresh. Food keeps you alive. Food,
so I hear,
delivered to you that tastes good is a bonus, and food delivered to you that is healthy is a double bonus. So that's 3 really good things. It keeps you alive, it tastes great, and it does good for your body.
I have been trying to lose a little bit of weight by not consuming my meals in snake meal format.
Don't do it. It might be tempting to, but you shouldn't do it. You will pay for it.
HelloFresh meals are normal human meals for you.
Made by people.
Not snake meals.
Nope. In fact, they're made by humans who know what humans' needs are so that you don't swallow them like a goddamn reptile. You've got 80 plus global recipes every month to pick from if you like Vietnamese, Moroccan, Caribbean, and more. And curry plates, lemongrass, gochujang, whatever your tastes are, lots of options that are pre-portioned as well. So that's what's particularly useful. The fact that you don't have to worry about the prep and time when it comes to measuring out the amount of what the ingredients are. And you don't have to deal with the expense and difficulty of groceries. You can get a HelloFresh served right to you. So
we did groceries this morning. It took like 2 hours, man.
It sucks. Sucks.
It took forever.
So get things that taste good, delivered straight to you, always fresh, and keep you alive. Go to HelloFresh.com/SuperBeast10FM to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/SuperBeast10FM. And you'll get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. Thank you, HelloFresh.
Thanks, HelloFresh.
The podcast is sponsored by Shopify. the best solution to getting your shop online. If you want to get your business going, if you want to sell on the internet, if you want to figure out how to get anything shipped internationally, or how to handle returns, it all gets really complex. But Shopify is the number one checkout on the internet that's behind a number of big brands and small as well. So it's perfect for scaling you from your first to your millionth sale. Whatever you want to get set up, they've got tons of ready-to-use templates for your shop. If you want to get you get it plugged in with your social media. If you want to track where people are browsing or what they're looking at and how to properly get the word out there about your shop and what you're selling, again, Shopify is perfect for that. They've got award-winning 24/7 customer support for you too. And that iconic purple shop pay button that you see all over the internet is Shopify as well. And it's one of the simplest ways and best ways to keep track of of buying things and what's shipping to you and so on. I use it on a regular basis, really find it handy. So be sure to check them out if you want to take your business to the next level online. Turn those what-ifs into cha-ching with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/superbeast. That's shopify.com/superbeast. shopify.com/superbeast. Thank you, Shopify.
Thank you, Shopify.
It helped with our t-shirts and getting all set up over there. And last but not least, this podcast, as we are approaching Mother's Day, it's time to let y'all know about one of the best gifts you can get, the Aura Frame.
I do like a good Aura Frame.
They're awesome. They're super duper good slam dunk gifts that your mom is pretty much guaranteed to love, or any parent or anyone. I used to say any boomer in your life, but really you too. It's everybody. It applies to all.
There's a reason it's only one letter off from Aura Farm.
There you go. It's almost there. I was saying that like anyone who's like older in your life that doesn't know too much about tech is going to love it, and that remains true. But it also was just like great for anyone who's younger that likes it too as well, because it's a digital picture frame. It's a great way to look through all the photos that you take on your phone that you might not never look at. Sometimes you don't actually go back to scroll through those albums or upload them anywhere. And this is a perfect way to just have all those memories, cycled through on a... You got a carver mat frame, which is solid for, you can mount it, or you can place it on a desk somewhere in your living room, anywhere that you walk by throughout the day, and you take a glance at it. And yeah, it cycles through photos. It has, sometimes you see a little bit of video as well. And it's just really cool to be able to cycle through, double tap if you like something. You can set it up as a perfect gift for your mom or someone else that you love. If you set a message before they open it up, it's really easy to do. You can preload it with photos. And if you want to get photos and updates, over to that frame once you've given it to them, you can upload it through the app. You can send it to an email that the frame has. You can send it by text message. There's a lot of different ways you can update the frame so that your parents and loved ones can keep track of what's going on. So awesome for showing off baby pictures to the folks. Free unlimited storage as well, so you can get a gift box included with it. Be sure to check them out. It's a really, really good gift. Named number 1 by Wirecutter. You can save on the gift moms love by visiting auraframes.com, and for a limited time, listeners can get $25 off the best-selling carver mat frame with code SUPERBEAST. So that's AURA frames.com, and the promo code is SUPERBEAST. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Thanks, Aura Frames.
Thanks, Aura Frames.
Okay, let's get into the news.
I have a piece of news that is assuredly not on your docket because it happened this morning.
Hit me up.
Do you know of a game called Neverness to Everness?
Nah.
Neither did I until this morning when I fucking was scrolling, and the first news I had ever seen about it ever was Iron Mouse canceling her sponsorship because they lied to her agency about the game not having slop in it.
Oh, here.
This is what I would like to term anti-advertising.
We're here now.
The worst possible thing. If they had told her, she wouldn't have taken the sponsorship and wouldn't have said nothing. But now they're on fucking blast because they tried to fuck over the world's largest creator.
The greed. Incredible. Yeah, no, like, we talked about the slop that was showing up on Steam the other day during the Indie Fest, and there's a whole thing of that going on. And then the ones who pretend that it's not there and try to hide it and such. It takes another level of balls to not only hide it, but then go out and start marketing to people, specifically hiding it from the people who you're trying to get to advertise your game as well. You know? But
I have had 2 email chains in the past year. One of which was, we can't tell you the game right now, but it's a very exciting upcoming property. And I was like, is it this? And they're like, we can't talk about it. I'm like, because if it's this specific game, I'm not going to cover it. They're like, we'll talk about that. We'll cycle bound around. And that email chain is like 15 emails long until they absolutely told me it was the game I fucking knew it was.
Yeah.
And then I have a different one where they were about maximizing whatever. I'm like, does this have Gen AI in it? They're like, are you excited for this opportunity? I'm like, does it? And they refused to answer me, so I dropped it.
Yeah, I can only imagine with whatever you're just describing, straight up like lying to the promotion as well. Yeah, I know the game.
Yeah, you knew right away.
I knew exactly which one. Of course, yeah, I knew exactly which one you were talking about. Yeah. So when this is happening, I can only imagine they are looking and thinking, well, first of all, they're either A, not thinking, or B,
That's
going...
true. That's possible.
Right? But B is also like, all press is good press. Because now you hear about it.
Not this.
Now you hear about it, you know? And now you're talking about it. And now the people who hear this that are not all brainwashed anti-AI... tards or whatever they fucking say. The shit is so...
they're brainwashed Iron Mouse fans. Those people are for real.
It's so...
There's a lot of them, too.
The pro AI ridiculous shit that pops up in the comments of this is... they get so... Anyway, they're going down a line where they're probably thinking, we'll get those people to support us, though, so it'll be fine. You know? It's insane. So
here's the thing. There's a huge amount of people that are out of the sphere entirely. And those people are going to try something or not based off of a trailer and no other information. When you're doing this type of advertising through me, through you, Wooly, through Iron Mouse, you're already engaging with an engaged audience. So you have to treat them like an engaged audience.
Yeah, I think when you especially look at numbers and just go big streamer numbers go, you don't think about who you're putting that towards or where they're going or why, right? It's kind of like Folding Ideas, shout outs Dan Olson, Mountain Dan, as I call him.
Dan Olson, resident smart bald person, as opposed to me, regular dumb bald person.
Hey now.
I'm not as smart as Dan fucking Olson.
Hey, I didn't follow up this hey now with any sentence. I just said hey. I just said hey
now. You know, dude, I think I've told you this before on the show, but I'm going to say it again. There was something. I was talking to a friend of mine, MexZ71, on Discord a long time ago, and I was doing some of my bullshit. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I do my annoying bullshit. And he was like, Pat, what the fuck? And I just said, hey, listen, okay? Yeah. And then just said nothing. Exactly. Nothing. Until he just started to completely lose his fucking mind.
Is there a follow-up to that? Or
No, there's nothing.
Hey, now, hey.
I was just trying to slow it down so I could escape.
So he just did a video on Folding Ideas where he got invited to the Beast Games, and he's like, are you sure you invited the correct person? Do you know what I do? Like the lines goes up guy, like, why are you bringing me out to something knowing that I will sit here and roast the shit out of it for hours on end?
I'll create a diagram, Mr. Beast.
And it's like, I will fly out. I will go. I will get my camera and I will cook this shit for fucking hours, you know?
I've been hearing not great things about the recent Mr. Beast challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it?
Would you? Wow.
That supermarket one, is the basic way that it was explained to me by a friend is that Mr. Beast Man, whatever his name is, Jimmy Beast, just doesn't know how to make a game. Like, doesn't understand the fundamental aspects of play.
Exactly. And the game had people, like, not wanting to lie or distrust each other because the incentives were too...
I'm talking about the supermarket one.
Oh, okay.
Where he trapped all those people in a supermarket, and it's whoever leaves the supermarket last gets a big prize. But it's a supermarket! You can stay in there forever! It's the worst location you could pick for that kind of challenge.
I too have heard about some of the problems and woes happening with the Beast games, but I heard about them through Dan Olsen, who you flew out to report on the event, and now I know about how that's not going well because of the guy that you brought in. Like, I don't... Anyway, so all this to say,
publicity, good publicity.
I'm thinking that maybe that's what's happening with, this...
Did you see him get punched by Mike Tyson?
No.
It was very interesting for one thing. There is maybe about 10 frames of Mr. Jimmy Beastman after getting hit by Mike Tyson, in which you do see a real human emotion on his face. And that emotion is, right? And he snaps back. He snaps back onto the fucking, cardboard cutout shit, but you see it. You see it for a second.
Yeah. Well, gotta think about the views.
There is a person under there. Deep under there.
Anyway, whatever that game was, that's kind of... It's shocking how unshocking it is, because I feel like you're just going to start to see this happen more, and we're going to start to get these emails, and you're going to start to have to just be very like, hey, what's going on here? And... there was a point when the question was, I remember, for the brief couple months where it's like, hey, does this game have NFTs? Is this an NFT game? Remember that era?
I do remember that.
And then now we don't have to ask that question anymore, No. But anyway, beyond that, other stuff that I found interesting. So I think you're going to like this one, actually.
I would like to like this one, Willie.
The author of Attack on Titan, Hajime Isayama, had a statement on Eren.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Very interesting. So this
Eren was actually fucking based the whole time, and if you don't believe that, you're a pussy.
This is the author of Attack on Titan discussing the end of Attack on Titan. Obviously, if you don't want to hear spoilers about that, tune out now. So, the recent interview basically led to him saying, Eren became a protagonist who committed mass slaughter on a scale rarely seen in any other works of fiction. As for why I conceived such a story from the beginning, it was part of my desire to create a narrative with a major twist where the victim becomes the perpetrator. But a large factor was also my own immaturity and foolishness at the time, when I was in my early 20s. That aspect became more core to Eren's character, leading to the point where he confesses not as someone who is forced into wrongdoing by circumstances, but as someone who harbored a desire to do harm. However, Attack on Titan had long since ceased to be mine alone, and Eren became a character loved by many readers. In the end, without fully committing to portraying him as a detestable figure, I found myself depicting him with a certain closeness and sympathy. As a result, I feel there remains a sense of insincerity with the story's conclusion, at least in my own assessment.
I actually totally disagree with that.
Really? Because I find that incredibly on point, in the sense that the idea of looking at the parts of him that are still, like, there is a truth to that. There is still him saying the charm of him saying, oh man, I still, like, I was just faking it a bit, like, when talking about wanting Mikasa to care about him in those moments.
Yeah.
I found that to be like what he's saying there about, like, I didn't fully commit to him being fully detestable. right? That little part where you're like, you still look for the protagonist underneath. I'm like, it is true. It is there. And it could have been something that was much more clear in making there no way back for him. But the characters in like Armin and everybody are looking for that way back. And it always felt like, oh, maybe there will be one, because the narrative didn't fully commit to it. I totally get what he's saying.
So I actually think that aspect is good. I think I have known a lot of people in my life, not me, but a lot of people in my life who are actually like desperate to have a reason to give someone another chance. That is like an incredibly common emotion. And I think it's actually very realistic for characters in this to be like, well, or even like readers to be like, well, maybe if this, they can be redeemed or whatever.
I think that, like, as humans are complex, anytime you show somebody having signs of that, you can further make a convincing display of, you know, if you want to talk about like the type of person who is willing to commit this type of slaughter, they might have these type of elements to them. You don't have to make someone two-dimensional in order to get that point across. But I do think that you can have the character say and do and act those ways, but like you can. I guess this is where
where you're running into the Tony
camera,
Montana, Walter White problem.
The camera. I talk about the camera. Some people hate when I talk about the camera, right?
No, but the camera's real.
But the camera is real because it's like, it's
Zack Snyder's camera told you that Superman is Jesus Christ.
The camera is the author's point of view of the story and what the weight of the author wants to focus on, and that has an identity in the story. And sometimes you can feel that heavier than others, as you just said, with Christ Clark, you know? And in this case, I think he's pointing out the fact that he's like, yeah, man, I kind of had an edgy character when I was in my 20s, and I got to this point, and I didn't fully want to give up or give in to the fact that, like, the story at this point had changed, or at the very least, the reception to this character had changed. And if you want to commit to this idea, you can have someone who is multifaceted in being this insane authoritarian nightmare character, but you can also have the quote-unquote camera be like, yeah, but you're still horrible.
I have a solution.
You don't have a way back from what you're doing here.
I have a solution. Do you know how you clean this up, make it nice and neat? Post-Ocean Eren grows a mustache. That's it.
That's all there is to it.
That's it. And you know what mustache I'm talking about. That's it. Just literally, just go into the anime and fucking just done.
And done.
Done. No confusion.
Now, I guess the question, like, how sad is this? How long and how sad is the sad boy arc that follows? You know, is it the longest, saddest sad boy arc of all time? Because, or you can choose how long you want to linger there or so. Either way. Yeah, I think that, like, the same camera that is framing those things that we're describing also decides to go focus on that baby being passed on that cliffside.
Yeah.
And like is emphasizing the fuck out of that and going, this is the same person that you're looking at causing this. You have to accept this as a part of his character too. And
put a mustache on the worm too.
Okay, wait, now you lost. Oh, on the on the original creature? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Fine, sure.
So stupid.
Yeah, I what the fuck was its name? What was the
Oh, I don't fucking
Okay,
know.
there was a name for the yeah, all right, sure. The mustache paths. Everyone who gets connected through the paths grows a mustache.
I just have this image. I just have this image of like future Eren like doing the thing where he's talking all that shit to Grisha
hallucinogenic
and himself, and he just has like a Sharpie on him. and he just goes on little baby Eren.
Okay, we're talking about Viltrumites, right?
No, we're talking about Viltrumites.
Yes. Okay. All right. Just making
Got
sure.
it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Viltrumites. Good. Just making sure. All right. Beyond that, there was also kind of just a weird one. I don't know why, but for some reason, the entire source code for Metal Gear Solid 2 just leaked.
There was a PSP version that got sent to some company, and somebody there left it open. Yada yada.
Yeah. So full source code popped up on 4chan, and it's kind of wild because it's the source code. That means everything, all the builds, all the committed parts of the code are still in there, including the pre 9/11 stuff that got commented out. So they're currently looking to see what that entailed, because we know the version of the game that came out that got censored because of 9/11. And there was another version that was going to way more involve the Twin Towers and the Manhattan shoreline, as Arsenal Gear was plowing through everything. So I guess maybe someone's going to pull that scene out, and we'll get to find out what else Kojima predicted and then cut out. I would not be surprised to see.
Sucks that was never redone and reintegrated back in.
I mean, I'm ready for a world where MGS2 had cut content predicting fucking Bitcoin, predicting his own firing from Konami, and potentially COVID into Death Stranding. I believe all of that could be in the MGS2 code. Yeah. Exactly references.
Could you imagine
GW referencing fucking Epstein, man?
Could you imagine if MGS2 had come out even 1 week earlier?
I mean, but the fact...
Because the gold... so it would have come out after 9/11, but the gold master would have already...
It would already been
started.
I think the timeline we have where he's constantly sorry for predicting the future and this is not what he wants, but it happens anyway, is kind of incredible, though. You know, and to the point where his latest statement is, I have to think about my creative works from now on. I can't be depressing everybody by hard calling out exactly how bad the world is going to get.
Oh, I think we're done with spoiler talk now, I suppose, about Attack on Titan.
Oh, that's true. All right. There was a new article that Jason Schreier published where they went in depth on what's happening with GTA 6 behind the scenes. And big sweat, big stress. We want to talk about the industry. We want to talk about the expectations. We want to talk about infinite growth, etc. Here are the bullet points. Expectations, according to Strauss Zelnick, are so high and so terrifying, the creative team has been given unlimited financial resources to deliver perfection.
That is a fucking stupid idea. Because now perfection is the expectation.
9 women can make a baby in 1 month.
9 women can make one baby in 1 month, dude.
Sony has a marketing deal with Rockstar, but it's not the reason why the game won't launch on PC day one. They've historically gone console first to serve the consumer, etc. Development costs have gone significantly up, and AI's influence notwithstanding, as they haven't seen the costs decline yet. Selling 10 million units, a miraculous figure for most competitors, would be considered disastrous for GTA 6, as some analysts have forecasted it will exceed 25 million copies sold at launch. So the stakes are high.
They're not releasing into an economy that is currently not the pandemic, and also maybe having a gas thing ongoing.
So I've been told that what that translates to is it needs to be the 50th best-selling game of all time to break even. And it needs 1 in 3 active PS5 users to own a copy of the game.
Okay. Here's the problem. Here's the genuine issue
Wait, hold on. Pat, have you identified the problem?
I have identified the problem. And I don't think it's the problem that you think it is.
Okay.
I think the problem is that it will hit those numbers and push expectations for everybody else into fucking space.
It doesn't matter whether it hits it or not. The problem is that these expectations exist. And because they exist, fucking moron-ass C-suites will look at it and go,
GTA did 22 million in a day. How come we didn't do 22 million in a day?
Hitch.jpg. They did. In an industry that is... What happened? Like, I was going to say Ouroboros, but, like, it's just a head and, like, you can't even see the body anymore.
It's a Mobius strip of head and ass.
It's infinite. You can't identify head, and it's just... And you're going to still now throw this out there, which the complete dumbass C-suite investment, etc. group look at and go, oh, we can still get paid in this industry. We can still do it. Look, it's still possible here, right? Or it doesn't hit those insane expectations, and it all fucking comes tumbling down anyways. Either way, 1 in 3? To 50th of all time to break even.
I think that is you can correct me. I think GTA 6 has the name to actually do it. But this is the last time it can. Because the next time those standards will be raised, but there won't be 40% more people playing video games.
Infinite budget means infinite quality, means infinite money in return, right?
Mm-hmm. That is what that means.
Oh, yeah. That's it. That's business. It's like...
Because demand is infinite, right?
Yeah, okay. I believe so. I believe supply and demand they're a line that go up forever.
I know I'm not an economist, but we live in an era in which, in the video game business at least, that's the one that I feel strongly enough to talk about, every C-suite decision is made along the lines of there being infinite demand. And how come we didn't capitalize on infinite demand? Because there isn't fucking infinite demand.
8 billion units sold is not enough. We need to market to more life outside.
Dad Asna just reached out to me and mentioned the Shark card bundle nonsense, where the GTA 5 has sold more copies than it has players. Because whale addicts for GTA Online would buy multiple copies of the game at discount to get more GTA bucks.
Amazing. Yes. I'm seeing some folks going, does Wooly not understand how possible this is? Does he not understand how previous GTAs went? That's not the point. That's not what I'm saying.
You don't understand that that's not the point.
The point is that it's not sustainable. How are you missing this? This is not an industry that can continue to keep up this expectation and surpass it the next time. It doesn't matter.
It's extra crazy because, say, GTA 6 does do these numbers. It took a finite amount of money out of a finite amount of people in the economy, which means there's less of that finite amount of money to go around for the other games. But the other games will expect a % increase in money because GTA 6 did it.
I mean, if you only plan to play Grand Theft Auto games and only play Rockstar games and not play any other video games or give a fuck about anything else in the industry, then yeah, that's a success. Cool.
How come you can't make as many 3-point shots as Steph Curry? Because I'm not Steph Curry?
Skill issue. Tell that to the investors. Anyway, speaking of the investors, GameStop is preparing to make an offer to buy eBay.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is an awesome sequence of events.
I mean, it's only entertaining in as far as the interview with the CEO asking, hey, so the company's worth $12 billion, GameStop, and eBay is taking an offer for $56 billion. So how can GameStop afford to buy eBay? And he's like, I don't understand your question.
And it's like, I don't want to tell you that I have a tens of billions of dollar angel investor because you don't like who they are.
Half cash, half stocks. Check the website for more details. And they're on the show going, no, we understand, but we have you here now, and we're asking you that the numbers of what this say it is worth do not
12
equal...
12 is less than 52. 12 is less than 50.
So how is the money going to happen? And he's like, we'll see what happens then. Check the website, half cash, half stock. I don't understand your question. And he just loops until it shuts down.
The interview at all?
I don't understand. You can just say nothing. You can also just
say nothing.
Nothing was also a choice. Yeah, pretty hilarious stuff.
Why take the interview at all?
Yeah, and you know what? We will see what happens, I suppose. But I imagine that they'll have to. Well, you know what? I was about to say they'll have to declare where those funds came from.
At some point, they will.
But what they declare doesn't. I mean, but will they? Think about it.
At some point, it has to be on a piece of paper somewhere of access to someone.
Yeah, but does that piece of paper have to be real?
It does. Paperwork has to exist somewhere.
And are the people checking that paperwork not gonna be honest about it?
I mean, that's a different thing altogether. That's you
know, current times, current situation. Yeah. Anyway, hey, after that big DLSS 5 fucking slobber knocker of an announcement, the director of RE9 said, "Hey everybody, it's pretty cool how everyone had such a positive response to our art design with Grace, and it means that we got it right."
Absolutely.
And it's like talking with positive words about how happy they are about how everyone loves the Grace design. And,
Grace is great.
They got everything right, and they got the emotion, and they really conveyed everything. And they're like, and so how do you feel about what the rest? And it's like, yeah, so we're just happy that everyone's really excited and about about how, and it's like, yeah, like you can feel right underneath it, you know, the team versus the folks that are forcing the issue.
Oh, absolutely.
That made the decision, the higher ups.
100%.
And essentially they were like, yo, thank you for getting big mad at how stupid and ugly and dumb the yassified version of Grace was.
Fantastic. Yeah, the yassified version of Grace didn't even look as interesting as regular Grace. Terrible. Also, Grace's actor, fucking A+. That character's great. Right up there to the top of good Resident Evil characters. Genuinely.
Yeah, I mean, I think that response would have been in place for any face getting replaced by anything generated at this point, simply because of the absolute distaste for the technology. But the fact that they replaced someone that people thought did a great job and, you know, ultimately nailed it doesn't fucking help the situation.
Fucking stupid.
Speaking of fucking stupid, this is a story that I need you to explain because I, once again, don't understand.
I will tell you.
Why is Star Citizen on course to reach $1 billion? Who laundering? Who's getting killed? Who's sleeping with the fishes? Like, what's actually happening here? Is it
Star
illness?
Citizen...
Is it whales plus mafias, Yakuza plus illness?
No, okay, so Star Citizen is not a scam. It's a grift. Okay? They are making it. Things are happening. And the promise is so large. Like, it's an infinite promise, right? And they just keep promising more. And they are working on it, right? That they have attracted just a huge proportion of, I don't know, whale kings.
Okay, so it's a cult. Got it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cult.
It's a cult. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's it.
Because
And guy with functionally infinite cash reserves who kicked in 50 grand on Star Citizen comes back 2 years and finds out that more of the game has been made, kicks in another 50 grand. Like, that's it.
please, smash cut to the C-suite of all of these studios we were just describing going, well, they can get a cult. Why can't we get a cult?
as long as they keep working on it enough to put out something every 6 months to 18 months, it's not a scam because it's not done. Right? As long as they keep working on it. You didn't get ripped off. It's just not finished.
The second bullet point is we still might not see single player campaign next year.
Oh, yeah. No, that's been every year for I don't know how many year. That's been, and No Man's Sky and EVE Online kind of put the lie to it because they're obviously very different games. But then there's also like the X series, but like they're doing most of what Star Citizen would promise. But Star Citizen promises all things to all people.
Ubisoft meeting like, we're currently exploring the cult space online and seeing how we can get into, reaching into people's sense of life and salvation, and just getting their bank account hooked right up, actually.
So we have a quote from somebody in the cult, or rather was part of the cult in here, from Hatefish. Says, as somebody who kicked in $1,000 of my student finance money over 4-ish ships, the current version is not worth what I paid. Send help. Now, here's the thing. Hatefish used student finance money, which means he has a limited income, like a normal person, right? What if he had an unlimited income and went, well, if I kick in more money, it'll go more faster, right?
Did your girlfriend have to sleep with the team lead of Star Citizen? Did you have to
the
like
only way to achieve focus?
Did you have to put your robes on before you started playing? Like what?
Yeah, no, Star Citizen's just an economic cult.
It's
just fin doming without getting an erection.
Yeah, because like the thing is, I've already had moments where I've talked about there's certain games that come out as not Kickstarter projects, as Patreons, and like there's fighting games that are like projects that are on Patreon, for example, and I don't like that because there's no incentive from the person making the game to finish it, and it feels and I experienced that firsthand. Like trying to play some of these and going into like do episodes on them and stuff where I was like, oh, there's a weird thing for like you're in or you're out. And like when you get in, it's not like, oh yeah, here you go. Here's the build. It's like, no, you're on this list and you go through this curated thing and they got to check to make sure that it clears before you get access to the build or whatever. And there's a couple of projects that have been in development for about 7, 8, 9 years in some cases that are just like, yeah, I never intend to finish this. Me getting this monthly payment from you is my income. And the project being done means this income stops. So why the fuck would I ever, So
and I have a game that I can point at and be like, it's in beta. And I don't think they're ever going to come out of beta. And it's your friend and mine, friend of the show, Rebecca Ford's Warframe. has been in open beta the whole fucking time. Do I think that beta tag is going to come off? Fuck no. Absolutely not. But that's the difference here.
Why though? Yeah, because
if you would hop, because it's not done.
Okay,
that's it.
But does that mean that like FF14 is not done because it's been updating constantly?
So you want to get technical?
Is live service anything that is beta automatically because it's not done?
So in FF14's case, you wouldn't call Dawn Trail beta because Dawn Trail 7.0 released feature complete. And then things that were added were part of the patch. Right? Whereas Warframe's just a big old melange of it's changed, it's coming, this is a new thing.
So when new things come to Warframe, it's still the same base game, but there's just new areas dropped into the base game.
Oh, no, it's actually way more complicated than that. They've redone a lot. I think the reason why Warframe's labeled as open beta is so that they have the freedom to just do fucking whatever, man.
Okay.
They just do fucking whatever in that game. That game's crazy.
If it's just about setting expectations, then it's just like, well,
it kind of is. It kind of is. Okay. Actually,
I don't like that. I don't like that. That's yeah. Well, anyway,
hey, it's got millions of registered losers, and that's what's important.
Did you mean to say users?
I did. Thank you. Could you imagine going to the Game Awards and doing that, and just like years and years and years later, people on our dipshit podcast are still like, Rebecca, you said the wrong word.
Beyond this, I think just one or two other bits that popped up. Hey, there's a website for Fate of the Old Republic. There's a look at some of the staff that are working on it. And hey, guess what? It's old BioWare devs.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So,
which old BioWare devs?
So they...
and I don't mean which devs. I mean from which
era?
Old BioWare.
So, apparently... So, Casey Hudson was announced, but the website was listing... people from BioWare as far back as 2000.
2000, huh? That was a good goddamn year for BioWare.
KOTOR 1, Mass Effect Trilogy people.
All right. I'll take that. Wait, they got Drew back? Ooh, they got Drew back.
As well as some people from other companies, Epic, Remedy, Coalition, ZeniMax, Microsoft.
Well, I tell you what, I have never been able to lay at the feet of one person leaving more than Drew. I always script his name, Drew Karpyshyn, I think.
Karpyshyn is what you used to say, yeah.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, writer for the Mass Effect series for 1 and 2, leaving before Mass Effect 3 came out because you can fucking feel it.
Mm-hmm. Was what's Mike Laidlaw?
Oh, really?
No. I'm just no. I'm asking you a question.
I don't know.
Did he? No. I'm saying he wrote Dragon Age.
Dragon Age 1.
Okay.
And then when what happened was when Dragon Age 2 was coming down the pipe, and he saw what EA wanted from it, he was like, "I'm fucking out of here."
Okay.
Not putting my name on this.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Was a good move.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with this project. Seems cool. My only issue is
well, we're not going to have time for this when the Quantic Dream Star Wars game comes out.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's going to just fucking... who can keep up once that drops? That being said, FOTOR doesn't hit as well as KOTOR. You know? That's
a little come see, come so.
That's my only issue with it.
Come see, come so.
Yeah, it makes me think of the meat area in Darkest Dungeon 2, the feeder or the fader. I don't... However you... FOETOR, I think. the meat zone.
Okay, I got the list here. I don't recognize a lot of these names, but they are from way back in the day. Way back in the day.
Okay. Good.
Oh, somebody in the chat asking what comme ci, comme ça means. It's French. It means like this or that.
Like this, a little this, a little that, a little middle, little the middle. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it comme ci, comme ça?
Do you like KOTOR more than Mass Effect?
No! Absolutely not!
Okay.
Ridiculous question.
I think I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, okay.
I like more... Well, okay, the shit that's stupid in Mass Effect later bugs me more. And...
you can't take away from me how happy I was to play through Mass Effect 2 like 10 times.
Okay.
That's basically where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm not there. And part of this is a little bit of like, I have a pre-installed Star Wars like fandom in me that was not there for Mass Effect. You got to give it time to shape up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then like, as we all talk about all the time, Mass Effect started big and then it went down. And for KOTOR, I liked it all the way through. And the dumb parts and the problems were happening in the middle and are kind of dispersed evenly throughout it, you know, with the cut content and all the yada yada. But overall,
Mass Effect is kind of built to leave you with kind of a mediocre taste if you play it with the Legendary Edition, right? Because it ends poorly.
Yeah, it was. So my journey through both games, both series, is Mass Effect was a ride downhill that had some cool bumps, you know, on the way downhill. And I feel like KOTOR was just a sick ass stretch across with some dips. But overall,
but you didn't even play all of KOTOR, man. Where's your Tor playthrough?
Oh, right, of course.
Because if you had, this would be a highly similar discussion.
If we're counting the MMO, I see.
They literally said this is KOTOR 3, like over and over and over and over and over. And there's your downhill fucking shot, bro.
Because I also know that, like, even though there's the part of me that was like, I walked in as already liking Star Wars before, and so I had an established thing. I loved what both of those games did to that lore so much more than I liked.
Nihilus is like my favorite thing that's ever existed in Star Wars.
Yeah, and I like and like it on its own, I love that, and I enjoyed that more than what Mass Effect was doing. And so it's like, it's not about the flippy swords or whatever, because that's barely a part of the way the game actually plays. It's the lightsaber fantasy, so to speak, is not like, boy, you got me using that word these days.
But it's so useful.
It's very useful.
Like, it's super useful.
The lightsaber fantasy is it's almost completely worthless in the KOTOR games because
you don't actually control.
You don't feel it at all. It's nowhere near as satisfying or as cool as it feels.
The sound effects and the lights, but it's not the you know.
In a world with Jedi Academy, right, or with those newer Souls games, like, nah, man, get out of here. That has nothing to do with it. The characters and the setting and the lore and what's happening with everything in it feel way more fun to me, and I was left with a better impact overall. So yeah, I like KOTOR more than Mass Effect. Yeah, I do.
So there's a reason for that. So you said you had a built-in Star Wars,
fandom coming into it. Yeah.
Mass Effect pulls from Star Trek in a like laughably obvious way. Like it is legitimately the closest we've ever gotten to a Star Trek game. Right.
That's a big deal. I don't give a fuck about Star Trek. That's true.
It's functionally Deep Space Nine. Right.
Yeah.
And the reason why Mass Effect has film grain on it is to make it look like a sci-fi show from like the 80s and 90s.
Right. Okay. And I not to say I don't give a fuck about Star Trek, but I enjoyed what I saw. But I'm not into it. I'm not into it. Yeah. Right.
You should fucking watch Star Trek.
That's there too. But I have to say though, even with that, like, even with those hooks, it's still a downhill ride compared to a bumpy ride across. You know?
Do you want? Can I get a slightly into the reads on this one?
In fact, sorry, for the person that was like, you just liked it for you just like your flippy lightsaber swords, big surprise. Actually, that shallow reading applies to me loving Vanguard in Mass Effect. The coolest thing about about Mass Effect 2 and 3 to me were the fucking sick ass shoulder tackle melee shit you can do. So take your whole thing and invert it.
There was a recent poll on the subreddit, what's your favorite Mass Effect class? And it was like Vanguard at like 80%.
Yeah.
It completely dominated.
So that shallow thing about the combat there is actually one of the high points of what I would remember enjoying during that downhill ride.
So let me explain to you in Star Trek terms. The Mass Effect 1 and 2 are incredible games. And Mass Effect 3 is a pretty good game. But all the problems that old mans like me that love that series from the beginning have with Mass Effect is that it became less and less like Star Trek and more like newer Star Trek.
Okay.
Like, you'd see trailers for new Star Trek series or new Star Trek movies, and they're all shooting guns and doing action shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I want Picard to do a fake trial over whether or not Data as a robot has rights. Similarly to I want to go into that fucking room with the Volus and the Elcor and listen to them bitch about fucking nonsense bureaucracy.
Or, to be fair to not just that room, which we bring up every time, talking about
the easiest example. It's so good.
It is, but I'll even give credit to I'll give the sequels credit and talk about the Geth autonomy and how interesting that conversation was and how it was fucking optional content.
By the way, the Geth the Geth in their entirety are like a half shade over from discussions about the Borg.
Right. Of course.
Right. Yeah. And so, like, wow, that's one of the coolest Star Trek ideas that ever happened. This is one of the coolest Mass Effect ideas that ever happened. And whenever Star Trek just descends into, we have to have a big war, it's really fucking boring. There is a really big fucking war in Deep Space Nine, like a gigantic, massive war. And all of the interesting episodes about that are, how do we trick the Klingons to get involved?
Okay.
How do we peacekeep on Earth when the enemy can disguise themselves perfectly and anyone could be a spy? Do we suspend civil liberty? Like, that shit.
Yeah.
Not, how many ships can I send towards the Reapers, son? Like, who gives a fuck?
Alongside the absolute clown shoes nonsense and
all that fucking Star Child shit,
black vampires and
what?
Oh no, wait, that's X-Files. Never mind.
That's X-Files.
never mind.
No, X-Files has Blackulas. Star Trek has Irish sex ghosts.
There you go. So I think the most telling thing, though, in this conversation, if we're talking about KOTOR versus Mass Effect, is when I look inside, I go, how do I feel about the upcoming Mass Effect? How do I feel about the upcoming KOTOR? Both are returning, and I feel very differently about these products.
I feel...
It's not fair. It's not fair because there's names attached that we know, but also that I search my feelings, and I know it to be true, that I fucking really, really care about this one, and I don't give a fuck about this.
I feel a different third thing, which is unsure if these games will exist ever. That's where I'm at, Mass Effect 4, I've been talking about Mass Effect 4 for like my whole streaming career.
Right.
I haven't seen a single fucking piece of content. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, we can only talk about the hypothetical that may or may not, the Schrodinger's game that may eventually exist, you know. But I will say that, well, yeah, even if you include Tor, right, and you include whatever went wrong there, you also are including Andromeda here, and everything, and then eventually this movie and everything else that weighs down these averages. I'm like, Tor is an MMO with live service, and Asuna showed me some cooler stuff that happens later, but ultimately...
Tor's multiple single-player narratives weaved together in a multiplayer suite.
Can the Tor average really drag it down that much further than the entirety of the fucking
I've heard good
Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, Andromeda, and wherever we go?
I've heard good things about Tor, but it is a different beast. People who went to KOTOR 1 and 2 aren't going to the conclusion of their fucking narrative.
Right. Whereas it is universally understood that Mass Effect is a walk down the stairs.
Well, first you climb up a little hill. And then you go down on the other side.
Yeah. So, okay.
I've heard very, very strong arguments from myself to me at various points in my life that Mass Effect 1 or Mass Effect 2 is the best game in that franchise. I have never made the argument to myself that Mass Effect 3 is the best game.
Yeah, okay. All right. And you know what? But here's the thing. I'm also going to think about, like, in terms of sequels and delivering on them, and expectations too. Like KOTOR 1 has the big old crazy twist, and you're like, holy shit, how are you gonna one that up?
It would be a massive mistake to attempt to replicate that twist in dozens of games. It would be
you know? And I actually fucking hit credits on 2 and was like, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great. Didn't fucking drop the ball on me, at least with where I set expectations and then how you come back and revisit that, but do a different thing entirely. You know?
I have been sent, thank you, Dad Asna. You're always a great help. I appreciate you, buddy. A fantastic quote from the writer of Legion and Edie in Mass Effect 2 about the entire writing basis was, I didn't want the Geth to either be the Borg, you are so different, will absorb and destroy you, or Data, I am different, so I want to be you. So the entire process was, I want to do a Star Trek race, but I can't do this one or that one. Thus I must make it a weird third thing.
Yeah, and I guess talking... Yeah, no, what's the Geth Party member again? Legion. When you're talking to Legion in that room, that's another moment that I think is like, it's the conversation is playing out in your head, right?
Every single thing he tells you is the most interesting thing in that game.
It's playing, that's it, it's playing out in your head again, just like that Volus room. And... Like, I accept, I guess, like, I'm like I'll accept tell, don't show when it's done well, but I just remember that being the whole context of that being a fucking late in the game, extra little piece of DLC in an extra room that was an optional thing that was like, how is this not what this entire thing is about? You know? Like, I felt like the emphasis on that part, as interesting as it was like, we should have been heavily focusing on Legion and the Geth, you know?
I wanted to go and meet cool new aliens.
It wasn't DLC? I'm sorry, what am I misremembering? Was it optional? There was something about it that at the time...
Legion's optional.
Okay, sorry, not DLC. What I meant is I was misremembering. Yeah, it's missable, right? You can completely miss the character and play without it, was one of the details at the time.
You could just not talk to him.
Something to that effect, yeah. Javik was DLC. And both of those characters being missable, not core content was ridiculous to me. Is the feeling I'm trying to convey.
I think Javik is the most egregious pre-order / extra DLC bonus thing that's ever existed in any game. Javik is the most important person in Mass Effect, full stop, ever.
Yeah, it's batshit. Complete batshit. All right.
It's fucking crazy. I have a minuscule piece of 14 news if you want to hear it.
Sure.
Jason Schreier was chit-chatting about Evercold and reminded people that in the fiscal year 2025, FF14 was responsible for more than 50% of Square Enix's profits.
So that conversation last week about
an impassioned demand for more resources
bitch,
takes
I
on a
own
slightly
you.
different tone.
Bitch, I own you.
I made, let's say, 55% of the entire company's money this year.
Wow.
Give some to me.
And it's not an FFR year, but
no, it's not a tentpole like other release year. Fucking whatever. That just means that if it was 2024 or 2023, it would have been 30-40%.
Drop that down a bit. Yeah. No, it's the backbone. It's what allows them to go make the A24 movies. Yeah, you can make a demand at that point, I think. All right. Oh yeah, they announced the new Melty Blood, Twi-Lumina, and sure, that's cool to see that franchise is still going. I'm curious to see how people talk about the shielding mechanics in it, which were ultimately something that I think got fixed, but at the end of the day, there was a button that was essentially like forcing rock, paper, scissors into the game that people didn't like. And I feel like over the years, people are getting really tired of Injustice has rock, paper, scissors mechanics. Soul Calibur had these rock, paper, scissors mechanics, and they're kind of like over that. I feel like there's a demand to leave car crash neutral, as they called it in yesterday, and kind of just go back to pressing buttons in fighting games and keeping it simple. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's take some letters.
Hey, if you want to send in a letter, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. By the way, extra plug, Paige now has a schedule for twitch.tv/PeachSaliva and has been digging away at Chrono Trigger. So go ahead and check that out. We have figured out a morning schedule / routine that will allow Paige to get back into the fucking trenches.
Pretty sick to be playing the GOAT.
Do you know how this happened? The Chrono Trigger thing specifically?
We
were talking about...
Did she wake up one morning and decide, I want to play the GOAT?
No. We were talking about Final Fantasy VI, as we do, as a married couple. The married couples, that's what they talk about. They talk about Final Fantasy VI. And I was like, I think Chrono Trigger might be better. And she's like, I don't know. And she mentioned, Frog and Robo. And I was like, well, what about this part? And she's like, I don't remember that part. And, my wife does not have the best memory. So she's like, oh, maybe I just forgot a bunch of it. And over the course of that conversation, we discovered she had never played Chrono Trigger.
Oh.
She thought she had because of the crazy amount of osmosis information.
Wow.
But had never actually put pause to controller ever.
Wow. Okay.
So she discovered that her favorite genre from her favorite company in her favorite era just has a game she completely fucking missed, and here it is.
So that's kind of nuts, but I understand. There are things where I don't have that with games, but I feel like I have that with movies sometimes, where I'm like,
did I see that?
Yes, right. There are things that are so crucial to our culture that I feel like I've seen it, but I'm not 100% on it. And I feel that way with the entire Back to the Future series. I'm like,
that's a really good example.
I'm pretty fucking sure I've seen all three of those back to front.
But you're not 100% sure.
But I kind of think I've seen it in TV, random Saturday night, things with commercials between them broken up.
It was also extra confusing for her, and this I really do understand because she did play through Chrono Cross.
Yeah, okay.
So that whole thing's just a big old melange.
I mean, I'm thinking of, like, every time I think of a scene in Back to the Future, I'm seeing it fading in from and out of a commercial break.
But Wooly, you know what you need to also, like, stopgap it and, like, are you actually watching a mentally conjured live action Rick and Morty bit instead?
Oh, man. Yeah, so I understand this feeling that she's experiencing. Well, that's great. I will say, having beaten FF6 for the first time maybe 2 years ago, after hearing how close this comparison was, and some people put one over the and all that, I'm like, I'm Chrono Trigger for life, but fuck me if it isn't closer than I thought it was.
It's always one of those
it's super close
where they are strong in areas the other is weak. Like, 6's scope is just so grand, and the amount of characters is so large. That is a huge fucking cast of playable characters. Mm-hmm. It's enormous.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But are any of them Robo and Frog? Oh, yeah. It's tough, man.
You can't. And there's things that just put it over the edge for me, which is, like, time. Right? The time fuckery is just fun and unique and novel. The multiple ending angle of that as well. The causality of things being worked into the gameplay. And, bro, I'm sorry. Double text and triple text. Get the fuck out of here. You can't touch it. You just can't touch it.
Same time, Lavos, not the most charismatic villain.
No, but World Revolution, the most charismatic battle theme ever, but then also Dancing Mad.
Have you ever played Radiant Historia?
No.
Ooh, it's really fucking good.
Okay.
It's really fucking good.
Okay.
And the music's by Yoko Shimomura.
Okay.
So it's real good.
I mean, like, there are times in my life when there's elevator music in my brain, and World Revolution is part of that playlist. I just don't know what. Anyway, so that's good shit. All right, letters.
Letters. If you want to send in a letter, send a letter in via the electronic mail to castlesuperbeasts@gmail.com. That's not correct. castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
There we go. We got one. We got time for one. Devastating. The thing you were holding off on getting into is now accessible.
Oh,
Dear Pat and Wooly.
Yeah.
From Low Resolution Zombie. One Piece, famously, is very long. I adore One Piece, but when friends tell me they don't want to catch up to the show that's been airing since before they were born, I can't really blame them. It's a time investment. It can only be called absurd, close to 400 hours. Today, Wit Studios shared a pretty astonishing news about their adaptation of the East Blue Super arc, though. In short, it'll be condensing around 50 episodes of the original anime into the equivalent of 13 to 14. Depending on how good it is or how far they get, we could be looking at a future where catching up to Wano takes less than half as long as it does now.
Totally. And they saved all that time by not spending the time coloring in Usopp's skin.
Really?
Did you not see that shit today?
No, I don't know. I don't follow the
him.
Oh,
they hit it.
They hit the Casca.
Yeah, dude.
They hit him with the Casca tones.
Oh, dude, he's the same skin tone as the whole rest of the fucking gang.
Oh, man. God damn, some people just don't want it. Some people just don't want it.
He's a black man in the live action. Who are you kidding?
Bro, some people are just afraid of black Viltrumites, man. I just needed a hint of a face that says, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's bursting out of him. Look at it.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah. I remember when they did that to Casca. That was crazy.
Let me see if I can get the. I'll search for One Piece and it'll come up. Get you. Yeah, is that?
Just got to get rid of those fucking threatening shades, huh?
Oh, it's threatening, man.
God damn it, man.
I'm not going to go far.
Okay. Well, look,
there's no way.
This email is not a sales pitch for One Piece, though. Rather, it reminds me that the awkward feeling of dread I got when the adaptation on port I've been wanting finally arrives, and I have to actually put up and engage with the thing. I've been a Mother 3 picketer for some time now, but the lack of an official port for Mother 3 is also valuable to me as an excuse to not sink hundreds of hours into another RPG franchise. A small evil part of me kind of hopes we never get one. Are there
boo, that's fucking ridiculous.
Are there any ports, remasters, adaptations you've been secretly dreading? Bonus points if you've been vocal about wanting them in the past.
No.
That's hilarious. Oh, man.
I would love an Ace Combat fucking collection. If an Ace Combat collection comes out, I'm going to fucking do all of them in a week. Fuck you. Count that as a promise.
I mean, Silk Song did eventually drop, and then everybody had to actually play it. What's the quote? Fan of thing, can't wait to play it for the first time. There's something to that. Whatever
that counts for a lot of things.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I will say this, like, you know, Mother 3 is fucking worth that journey if you do it. But at the end of the day, I get the sentiment of the, like, the thing I love is accessible.
Thank you. Who sent this in? Thank you, Shishi, for sending in the reference sheet for the One Piece. Let's get a live Wooly reaction on this.
And it's not a lighting thing, is it? Oh my God, it's not a lighting thing. Wow, they hate it. They hate us so much. Why do they fucking hate us, bro? Why do they hate us so much? That's crazy.
That's super whitewashed, bro.
Why? Like, what?
Man. He's whitewashed so much he looks bad now, right? Like it's.
Damn. Should I shave all of this to just leave a mustache? Should I just have a mustache and just walk through the streets?
No.
Oh boy. Okay. Hey, how did you like the RE trailer?
So, I have been warned I'm not allowed to watch weapons by many, many, many people that I will possibly die if I watch the movie Weapons by Zach Cregger because of a syringe thing.
Yes, you can also, like, look away from the screen during that.
No, I'm not a pussy.
Well, then you can then you
not watch it. I'm not going to be the kind of pussy who closes my eyes. I'm going to be the kind of pussy who says I didn't even want to watch that movie anymore.
But you did get over Silent Hill remake. Silent Hill 2 remake.
Well, I powered through it with through repetition, right? But I know Zach Cregger from his shit on Whitest Kids You Know. Very strange to see him go into horror. Another comedy person straight into horror, right? I guess there's a similarity there. So Zach Cregger is a big fan of Resident Evil. He was like, RE4 is my favorite. I definitely, if you look in the trailer, I forced the guys to model the RE4 herb perfectly, and that he's like, this movie is absolutely canon. It takes place alongside Leon showing up at the police station. There's a bunch of weird fucking shit in that trailer. Like a bunch of weird ass shit in that trailer. Like a gigantic big fat guy and a monster made out of multiple bodies and all sorts of shit. Him saying it's canon is nonsense. It's fucking snowing and the guy's bundled up like it's Alaska. It's fucking stupid. Whatever. Shut up. I don't care. It looks like it'll be a cool movie.
Okay. I'm wondering if you could, I was like, are you able to peg exactly where he is and what is happening just based on that?
No, it's fucking nonsense.
Okay.
It's September 3rd. It's September 29th.
Okay.
And he's acting like it's 15 below. It's dog shit. It's so stupid.
Scope wise, it seems like they're going for the thing I talked about though, the dread, the small scale story in the middle of the big event.
It's literally it's a guy going it's a UPS driver, a FedEx driver, just
in the middle of Raccoon City. Yeah,
and getting caught in the shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of like where does this fit into Resident Evil, it fucking doesn't. In terms of like a film that looks like a cool ass horror movie that is reminiscent and has elements of Resident Evil in it. Oh yeah, it looks really cool. There's a lot of really cool imagery and shots in that thing.
Would you be
as the Resident Evil complete psycho? Everyone's way too fucking hung up on. Well, is it fucking canon? Who gives a shit?
Would you be satisfied with a cool single survivor like story, or not, where the camera from the distance you see cool guy doing cool shit over there and cool girl doing cool shit, but you don't actually get to figure out what's happening?
I don't think that would be appropriate.
Let it be self-contained.
I think it's this dude's narrative. And so like when I think okay. All right, you've activated. All right. So, the Resident Evil film franchise history has been directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, not the good Paul Anderson, the other one, who has schloppified it, and in particular, like, he's stolen a lot of scenes from the games and directed them more poorly than Capcom's internal staff.
Paul Jovovich.
Like, if you watch the fights with Wesker in the game, they're much more competently and dynamically directed than his own direction in the films. They're just schlock, but apparently they did very well, so good for him, right? The original treatment by Romero, which of course would be the guy to get, was apparently a pretty good flick, but it had one problem, and this is a problem I agree with Capcom. It was all zombies. Resident Evil 1 has zombies, hunters, dogs, paleheads, chimeras, Neptune, Plant 42, and the Tyrant, right? Like, they wanted it to have more monsters. So, they ended up going to Paul W.S. Anderson, who only put in a liquor also. And then in this next one, it was the Nemesis, and so on and so forth, right? In that vein, a much more serious, like, competently shot horror movie by a pretty good horror movie director that also happens to have a bunch of weird monsters in it is what I want. Like, part of the Resident Evil like appeal from like a visual perspective is zombie thing, but also weird fucking monster. Everything from giant snake to 10 foot tall guy in a trench coat. To liquor to hunter to
if it is
spider.
If it is just a good zombie movie, but that's all there is to it, then it's not a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah. No, you need weird bullshit in there.
Okay. Well,
anyway, yeah, no, the weapons did extremely well. You liked it, but you didn't like it as much. If I remember correctly.
I have some issues with it, but I liked most of what was going on.
I'll watch it.
Anytime,
I'm definitely a lot more interested in it than I have been over the last 10 Resident Evil fucking movies.
And this, anytime someone takes the self-awareness to go, yeah, I'm going to make a small scope story to not fuck up the telling of this whole thing.
That doesn't matter. Resident Evil canon's so fucking stupid and shit.
Okay, well, I still prefer that form of storytelling in a lot of ways. Like I'm not gonna like whatever people have thought-wise, fan base-wise, established, etc. I'm not here to intrude and fuck any of that up. I just want to tell a cool story that takes place within this setting. I always like that approach.
Somebody who just spent like 60 hours on RE9, and I would say
fuck that shit up.
Top 10 people of like knows this nonsense. Like there's me, there's CVX Freak, there's Susie, there's Rune B. There's a couple other people that I'm sure I don't know. This fucking story's so fucking stupid.
It is
dumb.
But it's also it's that Devil May Cry thing, right? Where you're like, this story's terrible, but over time you grow to admire and kind of enjoy the charm of
I love it. I love it.
And so
there going like, I don't know that this happened.
And you don't quite think about how this dumb story like could be. You don't think it can be shit on or ruined until Dino comes along. And then you go, oh, fuck. Actually, this bothers me.
Resident Evil has become astonishingly resilient from a narrative perspective because jokes on everybody, these are character stories. They have nothing to do with their overall plot.
Okay.
This is about how much you like Leon and Claire and Jill and Chris and Rebecca and Billy and the rest. It has nothing to do with fucking the T-Virus again. Again, right?
Also,
it's about how Wesker and Gideon and Alexia are fucking charismatic, psycho, evil villains, and you love to watch them eat the scenery.
Also, they've done those CG movies that are just full-on lore dump, like canon things.
Those things are shit.
They exist.
Let me tell you. The Resident Evil Damnation, shit, except the part where Leon fights a big super Mr. X with a tank at the end. That part fucking rules.
I don't know, man. I'm partial to fucking gun fu, gun kata, equilibrium style gun battles where no one gets shot.
I love how everyone's seen that. I love it.
Running in circles. All right, I gotta go.
Bye-bye.
Take care.